Cancelstack. Cancelstack is when you manage to mix positive and negative attack speed equipments together in order to stack raw melee. This lets weapons that would otherwise suck for melee attacking manage to be decent. And an advantage to using these types of weapons is that your spell damage is increased, allowing for some incredible hybrid gameplay. Taking advantage of this, I decided a ritualist build would be fun. Using the weapon Panic Zealot makes it so we can cast spells super cheaply while taking advantage of its plus attack speed. It really makes for a fun build. Here's the equipment. For the weapon, you have Panic Zealot. Plus attack speed has to be 100%. You can't go lower, otherwise you wouldn't be able to reach super fast attack speed again, because the Bete Noire that we're using as our chestplate has a -5 attack speed at 100%. This also needs to be 100%. This is very important for the Cancelstack build. What's also important is that if you're going to do this, you need to get as much raw from the Bete Noire as you can. This item can be kind of hard to get, so it's understandable if you can't get it. Some of these other items are a little bit easier to get, so it makes it a little bit more simple. Obviously, getting good rolls on both the Bete Noire and the Panic Zealot just may not even make it worth it, but I did it. It's pretty fun. I can't wait to use this. Ornate Shadow Cowl, good HP. It gives you raw main, gives you raw spell, gives you some walk speed. It's very nice. Electric Makani does give you some plus attack speed, which helps us counter the Bete Noire. So right now we're +5 attack speed and we're -5 from the Bete Noire, which comes out to a 0. Gives you spell damage, gives you air damage, gives you walk speed, and it gives you +30 SP. Doesn't give you any health, but that's fine, because we're using Revenant, which gives us a lot of HP. Obviously, a Revenant can be pretty hard to get for a good one. Uproot cost doesn't really matter too much, because with Ritualist, the uproot casts are usually reduced anyway, because of how the tree works, I'll show you. But the IDs that you want on Revenant are going to be raw main attack for this build, walk speed, air damage, health and raw main attack are probably the most important. You want to get those as high as possible. Walk speed is very nice, air damage will add to your damage, and then Mana Steel is Mana Steel, but we shouldn't really need that because our costs from Panic Zealot reduce mostly everything that we'll ever need. Next is Dispersion. You've probably never seen this ring in your life. This was newly added to the Canaan Colossus. It gives you +6 agility, some raw main attack, and walk speed. We use 2 of them. Get some walk speed, get some raw main. Vortex Bracer. Oh, I love this item so much. +400 HP, gives you raw main and raw spell, air damage, and walk speed. Every ID here matters. It's awesome. Contrast, slap this on any build. Raw health regen, mana regen, walk speed, some HP. It works out. Awesome item. And that's the build. Starting from the top, obviously we're going down. We're not grabbing cheaper totem because our totem cost is 1 from the Panic Zealot. We're going to be able to avoid a lot of the mana cost reduction ability point stuff unless it's like forced. Totem Smash. Fun. It lets it so that you can get some little bonus damage from casting Totem as often as you will be with this build, because of the current constant cycle. We'll be casting Totem, spamming Aura as much as you can before you start actually losing mana, and then you cast Totem again, and then that cycle repeats. Obviously, cheaper hauls required. Grab Uproot, go down. Air Mastery, Thunder Master, Shocking Aura. This adds in with Panic Zealot's major ID. That makes the Aura faster. Very nice. Since we are not using Rebound, we want to spam Aura as fast as possible. This lets us spam Aura as fast as we want, and if we're close enough to the enemy, it should always deal its damage. So you don't need Rebound for this build. Mask of Lunatic makes you do extra damage. With Ritualist, there's some extra stuff. So the aura cost is reduced, which means every time our aura cost is reduced, this is raw reduction. It will add to our awakening tree, which matters all the way at the bottom down here, but I'll get back to that. So Mask of Lunatic, it reduces our aura cost and increases our damage by +35%. Lowers our walk speed, that's whatever. Better Totem, really good for the tick damage. Panic Zealot's tick damage is actually doubled, which is awesome. Mask of the Fanatic, this mask lets you get more resistance, but you also lose damage. This is fine, because obviously we're not trying to die. Living is more important than dealing more damage. This works out. And then while you're wearing the Mask of the Fanatic, every time you cast Totem, you gain some points toward the Awakening bar. Masquerade, switching between masks 2 times will give you 30 mana. This is what I meant earlier when the uproot cost and Revenant doesn't really matter too much, because switching masks already reduces the uproot cost, but this also further gets upgraded. The uproot cost in Revenant is fine. Storm Dance, enemies hit by aura will be pulled towards your totem. Air damage, this is really a good ability for Panic Zealot. You get a lot of damage out of this. Cheaper haul, because my Panic Zealot doesn't have perfect haul ID, so I do lose some mana from casting haul. Regeneration, every 0.4 seconds, your totem will heal. We actually double this with Panic Zealot, so you'll be healing twice every 0.4 seconds. 5 times a second you'll heal, and it adds up. Seeking Totem is funny. When you have the Mask of Fanatic equipped, your totem will actively go seek the nearest enemy, and it looks kind of funny. Stronger Totem. This actually makes the tick damage from our totem way stronger. Like, it says plus 4% of your DPS, but it's actually way more than that. Depersonalization. This makes Masquerade even better. So every time you switch your mask, price is reduced by a lot. Mask of the Coward increases your walk speed, but you take more damage. This is fine. With this build, you actually won't need to cast Hull if you switch to the Mask of the Coward, because you'll be super damn fast. So that's a funny little thing. But while wearing Mask of the Coward, there's a fun little movement option that's at the bottom, but we'll get to that later. Next up is Chant of the Coward. When switching to the Mask of the Coward, damage and knock nearby enemies away. It actually does a huge chunk of damage, 200% of your DPS, very good. Chant of the Fanatic. When switching to Mask of the Fanatic, you and your allies are given a temporary resistance buff. This is actually a huge resistance buff. It adds up to 100%. You take no damage when this happens. Frog Dance. When wearing the Mask of the Coward, Hull will bounce you off the ground 3 times at an increasing speed. The damage doesn't matter, it's just a fun little ability. Here's the cream of the crop. Mask of the Awakened. After saving 200 mana from your mask's mana reductions, casting Uproot will equip the Mask of the Awakened for 20 seconds, giving you the power of all masks at once with no downsides. This is really good. And with Panic Zealot, we'll be able to cast Aura super fast, and all of that mana that's being reduced is being sent to the Mask of the Awakened bar, and it will go up really fast, and we'll be able to have Mask of the Awakened up pretty much all the time. And then you get some Uproot cost reduction. That's it. I'll show you what I mean. Here we go. So I'm going to damage, and with the Panic Zealot Major ID, it is doubled, so every 0.2 seconds, the totem will damage enemies around it. It's a small bit of damage, but it's a good amount of damage. It adds up. Keep going down, your totem will deal damage where it lands. Fun little ability. Isn't really that big of a deal. We're taking Distant Grasp, because with this, we have a Summoner archetype, and Air Mastery makes it so that we can grab double totem later down here, since you only need 2. But, gonna keep going over here. Rain Dance. While mid-air, your totem will leave a streak of rain that damages enemies under it. I don't think this is sped up by PZ, but I made a build around this concept, but you kind of just need it in order to grab Mask of the Lunatic, which while wearing Mask of the Lunatic, you deal extra damage, lose some walk speed, but it's whatever. Your aura cost is also decreased. Sacrificial Shrine. Your totem will siphon 2% of your health every 0.4 seconds. This is doubled, so every 0.2 seconds, it will transfer it into your blood pool. This is for every totem, so you can transfer 20% of your health every second to your blood pool while using 2 totems. Aura will use 15% of your blood pool to deal plus 35% damage, and it will heal all your allies. Total heal 15%. This gets doubled by Rebound. Once Aura reaches its maximum range, it will bounce back and deal its effect a second time. So you heal on the first Aura and then on the Rebound as well, so it's 30% for each totem. Double totem actually reduces the amount of Sacrificial Shrine heal, so it's not exactly 30% for each totem, but that's not complicated. Blood Connection. If you are outside of your totem's range, Hull will teleport you to it. This is a fun little mobility thing, and it might come in handy, who knows. Better Totem. Increase your totem's area of effect. That means more AoE for your tick damage and for your aura to deal its magic. More blood pool. Vengeful Spirit. Your totem will give all players in its range a damage bonus. This works well with that Better Totem range. Gives you an extra bonus. Blood Movement, don't care. Storm Dance. Enemies pulled by aura will be pulled towards your totem. Plus 30% air. Really good for Panic Zealot. This is a huge multiplier for our damage because our damage source is air. And then here you go. Double totem. You have 2 totems. Cool. It reduces your damage somewhat. Don't care, because overall you actually do more damage and you get more healing. Down here, Stronger Totem. Increase totem's damage by plus 4%. It says plus 4%, but it's actually a lot more than that. Your tick damage gets increased by a lot. Then you got Twisted Tether. When hitting an enemy with your main attack, use 1% of your blood pool and add a tether to them. Tethered enemies will take damage for every 2% of health you lose. And since you're losing health extra fast with Panic Zealot, this works out even better. Panic Zealot actually just gets a lot more mileage out of this, and they buffed it in the latest patch. It's actually kind of funny because normally people people just ignore it. It doesn't really mean much to anyone, but it actually matters for Panic Zealot, which is great. Fluid healing. This build doesn't have any water damage, but it also includes the water damage that you get from intelligence. So there is a bit of aura healing boost from fluid healing. Pretty cool to have. More blood pool, stronger tether, and then more blood pool. And that's the tree. Let me show you what I mean by the faster blood pool with Panic Zealot. With just one, look how fast your health goes already. Gonna show this side by side with non-Panic Zealot. An example of what I mean. Look how much slower it is compared to Panic Zealot, which is, it's obviously half the speed because that's how the major ID works, right? Mix that with 2, and now you're filling up your blood pool super fast, and you're also losing health super fast. Casting Aura heals you and fills your blood pool back up, also incredibly fast. You can tell when the rebounds come in by the red particles. The totems don't last as long, they only last 15 seconds long, so you're going to be casting totem pretty often, especially since you're going to be able to cast aura fast enough to the point where it's not like cycle resetting automatically, so you're going to be casting totem a fair bit. At least after getting the rebound from one or the other. You can cast both at the same time, and it works that way. Probably better like this, honestly. Mix that with the fact that this is a hybrid gameplay, and you're actually doing a fair bit of damage. All you gotta do is right-click once while you're melee attacking, and you get your damage done. And yeah, otherwise it's pretty much basic tier stack, but with a bit of hybrid, so you're casting spells, your spells actually get you a lot of mileage. At the same time, you get to function as a healer. It's honestly super cool. Why didn't it work? It was perfect. It was the perfect build. In theory, it should have worked. It should have worked. It would have been an awesome rituals build. But why? Why didn't it work? Was it because it was... It was because it was percent reduction. Not raw reduction. No. I was foiled by the system. I'm forced to use Acolyte instead of Ritualist. I need a Ritualist build that actually works. But what would work? I don't know what would work. Oh. That would work.